Yeah, we've all been there. There's the cramp, he's just started. And the shorts don't help. We've all been there, haven't we, boys, when it comes to getting into shape. The hardest thing is actually just to get started. And last, that's what our next guest has found out. Andrew Shanahan wanted to lose weight, but struggled to find any advice aimed for men. Despite that, he went on to drop over 25 kilos, wrote a how-to guide, and he joins us now from Manchester. Andrew, Man vs. Fat has been described as a bloke's guide to losing your gut. So what's the first thing guys, regular guys, need to do?
Good morning. Thanks ever so much for having me on. I think probably the most important thing is to understand where you are with your own weight loss and, whether you need to lose weight or whether you're obese, whether you're just simply overweight. I think that if you have a look at manvfat.com, we've got a really useful tool there called the Health Report, which only takes about 3 minutes to do, which gives you a really clear picture about where you are on your particular journey. And I think the second thing to do with that blokes need to do is really to kind of understand, regardless of BMI charts and height-weight charts and any of that, is to ask themselves, does my body do everything that I want it to do? Or is my weight holding me back from doing those particular things? And if it is, then you've got your answer. There's some motivation right there for actually losing weight and going on and making a positive change.
Well, motivation's the key word, isn't it? And that's the hardest thing, particularly if you're a dad, you're a stay-at-home dad, or you're a working dad. No one talks about them that much. They're sort of lost in that thing, because you've either got guys who have big muscle heads or young blokes who look ripped, or, old guys who the kids have left the nest and sort of getting all back together. So how do dads in that middle group, young dads, get their heads into gear?
I think there is a real challenge for them, and when I was writing the book, The Weight Loss Manual, what I was really keen to do was to provide a very easy step-by-step. So what we've got is 3 steps, essentially. The first and the most vital, I think, is to understand why you're getting fat. Because I think unless you actually do that, and a lot of commercial diets don't actually look at the reasons why you're putting on weight. It's like trying to fill a bath with the plug out, essentially.
What do you mean by why you're getting fat? I mean, are we blaming something here? Is it booze? Is it food? What do you mean by that?
I think that for men, there's so many different reasons why they could put on weight that it's very difficult to pin down on one particular one. But I think that, you would have a very good understanding of your own situation. And obviously the book takes you through some of the different reasons why men would put on weight. So I think after the understanding why you're putting on weight, the second step is really to learn about how to lose weight. And that's about, balancing the exercise and the intake and the nutrition and choosing a plan that's right for you. It really winds me up when people say that the right way is paleo or the right way is low carb, whichever. It's what's right for you. There's no one set path that's going to lead to a healthier you.
Yeah.
And the final one is really about learning how to structure a good diet. That there are so many useful tools and tips that you can get, such as, setting clear and achievable goals or tracking what you're eating and what activity you're doing that are really vital to losing weight.
Well, do you think, generally, that men are sort of more comfortable or less comfortable about talking about, their weight? I mean, we're described as beefy or too thin or whatever. Doesn't feel good. I get beefy a lot.
No, not
just
at all.
FYI, I get beefy.
Yeah, I'm sure, yeah. I get beefy too, yeah. I think that for the longest time there hasn't been actually a platform for men to have these sorts of discussions. And I think that's a real shame. And the 2 culprits I see as being to blame there are the diet industry as a whole, which really just focuses in on women. And I think that's bad for both genders. It's terrible that women are constantly made to be the ones who are talking about diets and the magazines are talking about diets. But equally, it's reprehensible that men just aren't given that sort of information. And the second real culprit for that, I think, is the fitness industry. And men are often told to be pushed towards the fitness industry. That's where, men are supposed to go to. They get brawny rather than getting thin.
Yeah.
And I think that, when I was obese, I wasn't looking in the mirror thinking I want a six-pack. I was thinking I want to jiggle less.
I know exactly what you mean. I've given up the six-pack idea, just 1 or 2 less jiggles. But be straight with me, really, just before we go. Do we have to give up pizzas? Do we have to give up pies? Is that over for us now?
I have good news. No, you don't have to give up pizza, pies, beer, anything like that. It's really just about, finding a balance that works for you. And obviously, the weight loss manual is a path through to a healthier you.
Oh, look, thank you for your time this morning, Andrew. Andrew Shanahan there. Go to his website. It's a good idea just for us regular blokes to lose a couple of pounds after Christmas.